The small town of Willow Creek was known for its peacefulness and simplicity, but it held a dark secret that lurked beneath the surface. It was a secret that only a few knew about, and those who did were too scared to talk about it. One summer day, a group of teenagers decided to explore the abandoned mansion at the edge of town. The mansion had been there for as long as anyone could remember, but no one knew who had built it or why it had been abandoned. The teenagers, all eager for a thrill, made their way through the overgrown gardens and up the winding driveway to the mansion's front door. As they pushed the heavy door open, a musty smell filled their nostrils, and they heard the creaking of the old wooden floorboards beneath their feet. The mansion was dark, and the only light came from the faint glow of the setting sun that filtered through the dusty windows. The teenagers split up, each exploring a different room in the hope of finding something exciting. As they searched, they heard strange noises coming from the upper floors of the mansion. It sounded like someone was walking around up there, but the teenagers brushed it off, thinking it was just the wind. As the sun set, the mansion became darker, and the noises from the upper floors grew louder. The teenagers became scared, and one by one, they made their way back to the entrance. But as they tried to push open the front door, it wouldn't budge. It was as if something was holding it shut from the other side. Panic set in as the teenagers realized they were trapped inside the mansion. They tried everything they could think of to open the door, but it was no use. They were stuck. The noises from the upper floors grew louder and more persistent, and the teenagers began to hear strange whispers that seemed to be coming from all around them. It was then that they saw it. A figure, dark and menacing, emerged from the shadows. It was unlike anything they had ever seen before, and it filled them with a terror that they had never known. The figure moved towards them, its eyes glowing with a malevolent light. The teenagers tried to run, but their legs wouldn't move. They were frozen in place, unable to escape the creature's grasp. The figure reached out with long, gnarled fingers and touched each of the teenagers on the forehead. They screamed as they felt their minds being invaded, as if something was trying to take control of them. Suddenly, the front door swung open, and the teenagers stumbled out of the mansion, gasping for air. They looked back and saw the figure standing in the doorway, its eyes still glowing with a terrifying light. They ran all the way back to town, too scared to speak, too scared to even look back. The next morning, the teenagers woke up with no memory of what had happened the night before. They felt as if they had been in a trance, unable to recall anything that had taken place inside the mansion. But they knew one thing for sure. They had experienced something that was beyond their understanding, something that they would never forget for as long as they lived. As they looked out the window, they saw the figure standing at the edge of town, watching them with its glowing eyes. And they knew, deep down, that it was still out there, waiting for its next victim.